This video covers the IGCSE Biology Objective 1.3.4 on the 2025 CAIE syllabus, which is to state the main features used to place organisms into one of the 5 kingdoms. So again, we have 5 kingdoms. We've already gone through the different categories, but organisms are classified based on physical cell features. Okay, so we want to ask certain types of questions that would then help us determine which kingdom this organism would be placed into based on its cell structure. So is the organism unicellular or multicellular? Is it only one cell big or many cells? Do the cells contain cell walls or not? That will then help us differentiate between certain types of kingdoms. Do the cells contain chloroplast or not? Again, it will help us differentiate certain types of kingdoms. And do the cells contain genetic material that's in a separate nucleus, or is it just part of the cytoplasm? All of these questions will help us to determine which kingdom an organism belongs to. So let's just review the plant and animal kingdom just very quickly. We've already gone through this in a previous video. So we've got the plant kingdom with multicellular organisms, membrane-bound nucleus, a cellulose cell wall, and chloroplasts, compared to the animal kingdom, which is multicellular and has a membrane-bound nucleus. Now, as we look at other kingdoms, we'll start to see more differentiation, which will then help us to know which kingdom out of the 5 an organism would belong to. So let's look at the prokaryote kingdom. So these organisms are unicellular. They're only one cell big. They do not have a membrane-bound nucleus, and they have a cell wall that is made of protein. So these features are pointed out here on the slide, where the genetic material is just free-floating in the cytoplasm. There is a cell wall. Again, it is different from other cell walls that we will encounter because it's made of protein, not a carbohydrate-based substance, and it is only one cell big. And it can reproduce very quickly, as we can see from the other diagram. So that is prokaryote. Typically here we're talking about bacteria. Okay, the fungi kingdom, which are things like yeast and mushrooms, have some slight differences compared to the bacteria. So they can either be unicellular, one cell big, as in yeast, or they can be multicellular, as in the case of mushrooms. So you would have to look a bit further at the cells and what the cells are made up of in order to now further determine if it is indeed in the fungi kingdom, or is it a bacteria, or is it something else. So one of the main differences between a unicellular fungi and a prokaryote fungi is the fact that fungi all will have a membrane-bound nucleus. So if you're looking at a cell and you know that this organism is only one cell big, but it does have a membrane-bound nucleus, then you know that it is a fungi. The other thing about these organisms is that they do have cell walls, but it's made out of a substance called chitin. Now, just looking at an organism, you won't really be able to tell if the cell wall is made of chitin or made of protein or made of cellulose, but it's important to know the difference when you are just given information about an organism that can help you to determine which kingdom it belongs to. Finally, we have the Protista, also called Protoctista kingdom. Again, this kingdom is kind of a modge podge, a mixture of many different things. So one of the main things is that it does have a membrane-bound nucleus. So again, if we have unicellular organisms in this kingdom, which we do, you can determine that perhaps it belongs into the Protista kingdom because it does have a membrane-bound nucleus. Now, it may or may not have a cell wall. As you can see, the amoeba in this diagram does not have a cell wall, whereas the chlorella does have a cell wall. So again, you would need more information in order to determine which kingdom to put it in. It may or may not have chloroplast. So some organisms are going to be able to do photosynthesis, and you would be able to see the chloroplast in that organism. Some do not have chloroplast. They have to consume food, as in the case of the amoeba. So you're looking at kind of a combination kingdom where we have many different sort of overlapping characteristics, but you would be given enough information on an organism, both visually and with words, in order to determine which kingdom it indeed does belong to.